Very good evening and welcome to the news tonight. In the next 30 minutes, I'll be getting you through the day's top stories from India and across the world. An eye out, of course, on developments that are going on at the moment in Uttar Pradesh. More of that in a bit, but first, the headlines. Haridwar-bound Utkal Express train derails in Uttar Pradesh's Muzaffarnagar district. 14 coaches jump off the tracks. 10 people are reported killed, scores injured. Janata Dal United formally joins the BJP-led National Democratic Alliance. Rebel leader and party co-founder Sharad Yadav stays away, holds parallel voting and claims his faction is the genuine unit of the party. Back and forth merger talks continue between rival sides of the AIADMK. Former Chief Minister O. Pannirselvam says he is hopeful of a breakthrough in the negotiations with the side led by E. Palanisamy. Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi meets families of children who died in the BRD hospital tragedy in Gorakhpur. State Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath inaugurates cleanliness program and says that visiting the hospital is like a picnic for Rahul Gandhi. And residents and visitors crowd sidewalks of La Rambla Avenue in Barcelona, signaling a defiant reply to Thursday's terror attack. Manhunt continues for the Moroccan man suspected to be the van driver. Let's first get you the top story of this hour. At least 10 people were killed and 30 or 40 more injured today when the Haridwar-bound Utkal Express train derailed in Uttar Pradesh's Muzaffarnagar district. The victims included many women and children. The mishap occurred near Khatoli railway station, that is 22 kilometers from the district headquarters. Eyewitnesses said that as soon as the train crossed Khatoli railway station, 14 coaches of the train derailed. These came after the first 7 coaches of the train next to the engine that were unharmed. One coach rammed into houses that were close to the railway tracks. Officials said medical teams have been rushed from Meerut, Saharanpur and other nearby districts. The injured were admitted to the nearby hospitals in Meerut and Muzaffarnagar. Some are in a critical condition. Union Railways Minister Suresh Prabhu assured that he was personally monitoring the situation and has ordered inquiry into the same. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath also expressed grief over the incident and said that the victims will be given proper treatment.
ये दुखद हादसा करीब 5:45 के बीच में हुआ है और 6 बोगीज के आसपास डिरेल हुई हैं। कुछ बोगीज एक दूसरे पर चढ़ गई हैं और जो आसपास रेलवे लाइन के आसपास जो घरों में भी कुछ बोगीज जाके टकराई हैं और घुसी हैं। काफी लोग इंजर्ड हैं। एग्जैक्ट संख्या मेरे पास इस समय अधिकृत रूप से नहीं है, लेकिन 50 से 60 लोग इंजर्ड हैं मिनिमम, जो मेरी जानकारी में है। और जो भी इंजर्ड हैं उनकी पहली प्राथमिकता हमारी शासन प्रशासन की है कि उनको अस्पताल तक पहुंचाया जाए, उनको मेडिकल उपचार दिया जाए, जिसके लिए एम्बुलेंसेस पर्याप्त संख्या में हम लोग भेज रहे हैं।
मौके पर हम लोगों ने पुलिस और प्रशासन को पूरी राहत कार्यों के साथ वहां भेजने के लिए कह दिया है। साथ साथ उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार के हमारे 2 मंत्री श्री सतीश महाना और श्री सुरेश राणा को मौके पर भेजा है। युद्ध स्तर पर राहत कार्य कराने के लिए हम लोगों ने कहा है। पूरी घटना दुखद है। सभी जो यात्री जो इस दुर्घटना में हताहत हुए हैं या जो गंभीर रूप से घायल हैं, उन सबके प्रति, उनके परिवारजनों के प्रति मेरी पूरी संवेदना है और प्रदेश सरकार हर संभव सहयोग करेगी और रेल मंत्रालय के साथ बराबर हम लोग टच में हैं। जो भी सहयोग की आवश्यकता पड़ेगी प्रदेश सरकार उसमें भरपूर सहयोग करेगी।
सब हॉस्पिटलों को कह दिया गया है घायलों के लिए बेड रखें। सबसे बड़ी प्राथमिकता ये है कि घायलों को पहुंचाया जाए। मोबाइल डेड बॉडी है उसके अंदर उन्हें निकालने का प्रयास किया जा रहा है। दुर्घटना क्यों हुई इसका पता कल करेंगे। अभी भी सुरेश पर मुझे का फोन आया, उन्होंने भी संवेदना व्यक्त की है और कहा है क्या संभव मदद की आवश्यकता है।
More news from UP in a bit. Meanwhile, the realignment of political parties in Bihar came full circle on Saturday, with the JDU rejoining the National Democratic Alliance 4 years after abruptly ending the 17-year-old alliance. The decision was taken at the party national executive meet in Patna. The JDU is now expected to be offered about 1 or 2 ministerial berths in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's cabinet.
JDU President Nitish Kumar on Saturday formally decided to join the National Democratic Alliance. Confirming the move, Party General Secretary KC Tyagi said a resolution to this effect has been passed and the JDU is now part of the ruling NDA.
पिछले सप्ताह जब हमारे अध्यक्ष दिल्ली में थे तो एक मुलाकात उनके आवास पर धन्यवाद करने के लिए जब गए थे तो हुई थी, जिसमें श्री अमित शाह जी ने आदरपूर्वक अनुरोध किया था कि अब आप, और निमंत्रण भी दिया था कि अब आप जेडीयू को लेकर के शामिल हो जाइए। आज से हमने प्रस्ताव पास किया है। Since today we have become the part of National Democratic Alliance.
Rebel JDU leader and co-founder of the party Sharad Yadav stayed away from the meet. Instead, he held a parallel meeting in Patna where he claimed his faction of the party was the genuine unit.
एनडीए टूट रहा था, मैंने बहुत कोशिश की कि मत तोड़ो, टूट गया, मगर मैं पार्टी का साथ और पार्टी को तोड़ना खुला मानता था, मैं साथ चला आया। जो पक्षी है वो अकेले एक पंख से नहीं उड़ता, 2 पंख चाहिए उसको। लोकतंत्र भी सरकारी पक्ष चाहिए और लोकतंत्र में अपोजिशन चाहिए, वो दोनों मजबूत होंगे, दोनों पंख मजबूत होंगे तब चलेगा। गाड़ी के दोनों पहिए होंगे तब चलेगा, इंसान तब चलेगा जब दोनों टांग होंगे।
The Congress and the RJD also backed Sharad Yadav's claims.
देश भर का जदयू यूनिट जितना है शरद यादव के साथ है। शरद यादव ओरिजिनल नेता है, जदयू के संस्थापक हैं। नीतीश कुमार तो समता पार्टी बनाए थे, आप भाग करके इनका मसाल चुनाव चिन्ह था, जाकर वहां ज्वाइन किए थे, वहां मर्ज किए, तो ग्रैंडफादर तो शरद यादव है।
Supporters of Sharad Yadav and Nitish Kumar later clashed with each other in Patna. The rift between Nitish Kumar and Sharad Yadav emerged after the latter's decision to ally with the BJP in Bihar. Yadav insisted that Nitish Kumar's move is an insult to the 2015 mandate of the people given to the Mahagathbandhan. In the aftermath, the Nitish-led JDU sacked Sharad Yadav as the party's Rajya Sabha leader. 21 party leaders were also suspended for taking part in Sharad Yadav's Jan Samvad Yatra in Bihar. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And talking of mergers, talks between the rival sides of the AIADMK continued as former Chief Minister O. Pannirselvam kept the hopes alive of the two sides coming together. Citing a breakthrough in negotiations with his rival side led by E. Palanisamy, Pannirselvam said that talks are going on smoothly and one can expect positive news in a few days. His statement comes a day after the merger, expected to be announced on Friday night, ran into last-minute glitches, reportedly because some members of the OPS camp wanted EPS to step down. The merger was expected on Friday evening after Chief Minister E. Palanisamy agreed on Thursday to OPS's unwavering demand for an investigation into how J. died after nearly 2 months in hospital. The other critical demand of the OPS camp is that V.K. Sasikala should be publicly sacked as the party's chief. She is currently the party's most senior official with the title of General Secretary and the status held by Jayalalitha for nearly 20 years. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath on Saturday targeted the opposition, accusing them of making the Gorakhpur tragedy a picnic. The Chief Minister also launched a Swachh Uttar Pradesh, Swasth Uttar Pradesh campaign in the city. Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi had visited the city after the death of over 70 children at the BRD hospital.
Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi on Saturday met the families of children who died in the BRD hospital tragedy. Gandhi was accompanied by Congress leader Ghulam Nabi Azad. The visit comes 10 days after over 70 children lost their lives due to various causes including encephalitis and alleged lack of oxygen at the state-run hospital.
अब सरकार को एक्शन लेना चाहिए, कवर अप करने की कोशिश नहीं करनी चाहिए। बिल्कुल क्लियर है कि ऑक्सीजन की कमी, लापरवाही के कारण ये हुआ है।
Ahead of Rahul Gandhi's visit, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath inaugurated the Swachh Uttar Pradesh, Swasth Uttar Pradesh campaign. The cleanliness campaign will be carried out between August 20th to 25th in all districts on the lines of the Swachh Bharat mission. After announcing the campaign, Adityanath took a dig at Rahul by saying that he was visiting Gorakhpur like a picnic.
इस स्वच्छता के महत्व को लखनऊ में बैठा हुआ कोई मुझे लगता है शहजादा नहीं जान पाएगा। दिल्ली में बैठा हुआ कोई युवराज इस स्वच्छता अभियान के महत्व को नहीं समझ पाएगा। वे लोग आकर के गोरखपुर उनके लिए एक पिकनिक स्पॉट बने, हमें इसकी इजाजत नहीं देनी चाहिए किसी को भी।
The Chief Minister also criticized previous governments led by Akhilesh Yadav and Mayawati for depriving people of basic facilities.
स्वच्छ उत्तर प्रदेश, स्वस्थ उत्तर प्रदेश और सुंदर उत्तर प्रदेश बनाने की उस परिकल्पना को साकार करने के लिए आज आवश्यक है। जो पिछले 12-15 वर्षों से प्रदेश की सत्ता में काबिज इन सरकारों ने अपने स्वयं के स्वार्थों के लिए उत्तर प्रदेश की संस्थाओं को पूरी तरह नष्ट करके भ्रष्टाचार को एक संस्थागत रूप देकर के आम जन को बुनियादी सुविधाओं से वंचित किया।
Later, Adityanath did a land and aerial survey of the flood-affected areas in and around the district. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
BJP President Amit Shah on Saturday proclaimed that his party has not come to power for a mere 5 or 10 years, but at least 50 years. Calling upon party workers to strengthen the party and take it to every part of the country, Shah also said that though the BJP appears to be at its peak with a majority government at the centre and over 1,300 MLAs in states, there was still a long way to go. He was addressing the Madhya Pradesh BJP's core group members, office bearers, MPs, MLAs and district chiefs. Shah arrived in Bhopal on Friday on a 3-day visit for meetings with the BJP workers and office bearers, besides participating in various programs as part of his 110-day nationwide tour. The BJP president also reminded activists that the party has become a political force to reckon with due to the hard work, dedication and sacrifice of its leaders over the years.
प्रवास का मुख्य उद्देश्य भारतीय जनता पार्टी के संगठन को मजबूत करना, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की विचारधारा का विस्तार का आयोजन करना और भारतीय जनता पार्टी की बूथ तक के संगठन को चुनाव की दृष्टि से तैयार करना।
Meanwhile, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said that the new insolvency law has significantly reversed defaulting debtor-creditor relationship. While addressing an insolvency summit organized by the industry lobby CII in Mumbai, Arun Jaitley assured that the key objective of NPA resolution is to save stressed companies and not liquefy their businesses. Explaining the rationale for the new insolvency and bankruptcy code, he said that this was necessitated by the failure of debt recovery tribunals to effectively perform their duty after initial success. Gross NPAs have crossed 9.6% as of March 2017, while the stressed loans ratio is over 12%. The RBI named 12 of the largest defaulters in June, which together owe more than 2.5 trillion rupees to banks.
Now, the reasons for insolvency could be many. It could be genuine business losses because of a particular sector of the economy or some company getting into difficulty. It could be a case of mismanagement. It could also be a case of deliberate mismanagement, including some malfeasance on behalf of the promoters. And on account of multiple reasons, these insolvencies may occur.
A day after Vishal Sikka stepped down as MD and CEO of Infosys, the IT firm announced a 13,000 crore rupee share buyback. The company will buy back up to 11.3 crores of shares, aggregating up to 4.92% of the paid-up equity capital via tender route at a price of 1,150 rupees. The announcement of the company's first ever buyback will offer some respite to Infosys shareholders who saw a near 10% fall in the value of their holdings on Friday after Sikka's surprise exit.
They've announced the buyback, so investors will look at the buyback, what price the company is buying back and how many shares they are going to buy back. This is going to be the next trigger. If it is in favor of investors, obviously we'll see that there is some stability in the Infosys share price. It will stop falling. But as I said, it's now a long-drawn battle. Investor will wait and watch.
And here's a look at some more national news updates in Nationwide. Security forces launched multiple cordon and search operations across 10 villages in Shopian district of South Kashmir against militants. Security personnel cordoned off Dangam, Wangam, Zainapur, Mantribagh and other adjoining villages following information about the presence of militants in the area. A Muzaffarnagar court issued non-bailable warrants against 2 BJP MLAs for not appearing in connection with a case of disrupting train services. According to the prosecution, Chief Judicial Magistrate Gopal Tiwari issued non-bailable warrants against Kapil Agarwal from Muzaffarnagar constituency and Umesh Malik from Budhana seat. A high-intensity blast shook Darjeeling today. There was no report of any casualty, but several shops were destroyed in the blast, which was suspected to have been set off by Gorkha land supporters near the motor stand in the hill town's Chowk Bazaar area. The police have cordoned off the entire area now. With that, a quick break here. Up next, we're getting you international news.
This is Kibutu in Arunachal Pradesh, East Point East on the map of India. Kibutu is dangerously close to the Chinese pressure point. We see first-hand and unseen areas of sand dunes and see how BSF is guarding this difficult territory along the Indo-Pak borderline. We are now slowly entering into the interior-most parts of the Sir Creek area. Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force justifies each word of this saying. Watch super exclusive episodes of National Security Series only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Let's get you international news now, starting with the update coming in from Spain that the city of Barcelona is springing back to normalcy amid high security after the Thursday terror attack that killed 13 people and injured 100 as the van mowed down the crowds at La Alhambra street. Meanwhile, the Spanish police have expanded their operations to nab Yunus Abu Yaqub, the man believed to be driving the van. 4 other suspects have also been arrested.
Barcelona replied back to terror with defiance and resilience. People were doing morning jogs and strolls down the La Rambla, the populous street that saw a terror attack just 2 days ago, when a van rammed into crowds, killing 14 people and injuring over 100 others. The message is loud and clear: Spain is not afraid.
Están haciendo, yo creo que a nosotros nos corresponde llenar las calles de vida y realmente darle la normalidad pues que se merece la ciudad, una ciudad que es internacional y que no debe dejar de serlo, y por tanto el miedo yo creo que tiene que quedar aparcado.
Amid heavy security, the La Rambla turned into a memorial for victims of Thursday's terror attack. On Friday, thousands of Spaniards gathered in Barcelona's main square, the Plaza de Catalunya, to observe a minute's silence and remember those killed in the attacks. Led by the King of Spain, Felipe VI, and Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy, the crowds chanted "No ting por," meaning "I am not afraid."
Of course, it's a moment to respect victims and give support to families and friends that are suffering. And I think that our message today in Barcelona, even under shock, is that we want to keep being a city of peace, of tolerance and democracy and human rights.
A candlelight vigil was also held on Friday night to pay tributes to the victims. 4 suspects have been arrested till now, and a manhunt has been launched. 22-year-old Yunus Abu Yaqub.
Reports say he was the driver who ploughed the van into pedestrians on Thursday. Police said 3 suspects who were shot dead in Cambrils are Moroccan nationals Musa Okabir, Said Ala and Mohammed Hashemi. Musa's brother Dris is one of the 4 arrested. Police said the attacks had been planned for some time out of the town of Alcanar, where an explosion took place on Wednesday.
Un accidente en ese sentido proverbial que se debió producir ha evitado pues que realmente el daño, a pesar del mucho que han producido, hubiese sido mayor, porque probablemente estaban buscando otro tipo.
Of 126 injured people in Barcelona and Cambrils, many are still in hospital, some in critical condition. Spain's King Felipe VI also visited the Barcelona attack victims in the hospital. The world is standing with Spain as it battles with terror. The Roman Colosseum went dark for 30 minutes on Friday night in honor of the victims. Germany and France praised Spain for its resilience and courage.
Über 30 Nationen sind hier betroffen mit Opfern. Das richtet sich gegen die freie Welt, gegen das, was wir unter einem demokratischen Zusammenleben verstehen. Und wir werden sozusagen auch zusammenstehen. Aber natürlich wollen wir auch schauen.
L'image qu'a donnée l'Espagne ce matin sur la place de Catalogne ici est une image extrêmement forte d'unité d'un pays, mais aussi au-delà de l'unité d'un pays, l'unité.
The dead and injured in the twin terror attacks came from 34 countries, ranging from France and Germany to Pakistan and the Philippines. The van attack was the deadliest in Spain since March 2004, when Islamist militants placed bombs on commuter trains in Madrid, killing 191 people. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, 8 people were wounded in a knife attack in the Russian city of Surgut on Saturday. The man who apparently stabbed passers-by on the street at random was shot dead by police. The attack took place at about 11:20 local time. According to sources, the injured have been taken to hospital where 2 are in a critical condition. Meanwhile, Russia's investigations committee has said that it had identified the attacker and was checking his psychological history. Here are more international news updates now in Global Buzz. 2 Pennsylvania State Police troopers were injured in the Fairchance borough after an encounter on the street. The undercover troopers had stopped a man who they believed had an outstanding warrant against him. The suspect pulled out a gun and started shooting, and in return fire was shot dead. A man knifed 2 people to death and wounded 8 others in a stabbing rampage in the Finnish city of Turku. Police shot the suspected attacker in the leg and arrested him. The identity of the attacker is yet to be established. Police warned people to stay away from the city and reinforce security nationwide. The Lebanese army launched an offensive against an Islamic State enclave on the northeast border with Syria. The Lebanese army operation targeted Islamic State positions near Ras Balbik town with rockets, artillery and helicopters. The area is the last part of the Lebanese-Syrian frontier under insurgents' control. The Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency successfully launched a rocket tasked to place its 3rd geopositioning satellite, Michibiki No. 3, into orbit. The rocket was launched from Tanegashima Space Center in Kagoshima Prefecture. Michibiki 3 is the 3rd of the 4th quasi-zenith satellites, which are together designed to improve communication in natural disasters. And finally, let's get you some updates from the world of sports in Sports Beat. In tennis, Rohan Bopanna and Sania Mirza crashed out of the Cincinnati Masters tournament in their doubles categories. Bopanna and his Croatian partner Ivan Dodig lost the quarterfinal to Marcelo Melo and Lukas Kubot 6-1, 7-6, 10-7. In the women's category, Sania Mirza and her Chinese partner Shuai Peng lost to Taiwanese-Romanian pair of Su Wei and Monica Niculescu 6-4, 7-6. In the men's singles, unseeded Nick Kyrgios beat top-seeded Rafael Nadal in straight sets to advance to the semi-finals of the Cincinnati Masters. Kyrgios beat Nadal 6-2, 7-5. He breezed through the opening set before Nadal fought back in the second, only to fall short. In another match, David Ferrer beat Dominic Thiem in straight sets. Ferrer beat Thiem 6-3, 6-3. In golf, Webb Simpson recovered from 2 bogeys to join fellow American Ryan Armour in the lead on 13 under par after the second round at the Wyndham Championship. Simpson carded 64, while Armour went even lower with a 9 birdie. First round leader Matt Every made a miserable start that left the American 6 shots off the pace. Champions Bayern Munich beat Bayer Leverkusen 3-1 in the Bundesliga season opener. Niklas Süle and Corentin Tolisso scored the first 2 goals before Robert Lewandowski added a 3rd goal with a penalty. Adbir Mehmedi then pulled a goal back in the 65th minute for the visitors, but missed a handful of late chances to score again. And that's all we have for you on the news tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.